Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article here and the statement made by the French makes no sense. I mean, it's illogical and it's really up is down and down is up. We might not have all the information, or we might not have the exact information that they have it and they hide it from us, obviously, for certain kind of reasons. But we have still intelligence, we still have logic, we still put things together, we still connect dots. So they can't take that away from us. We might not know exactly when that happened, who spoke with whom, but we know they spoke with the other ones, among themselves or between themselves. You know, we don't necessarily need the date, we don't necessarily need to know the exact person. We know that this side spoke with the other side. That's all we need to know. Details are not very important to connect certain big dots. So what happened here? Let me read you the title and then let me make the argument straight from the get-go. The Telegraph reports today on June 20th, 2023. Brace yourselves, my friends. Brace phrase. France backs Ukraine's NATO bid. And this is the argument, the reason, the justification, to pressure Russia into peace talks. Now, if you don't know anything about why Russia claims that it was provoked in attacking Ukraine, that you might remember that there were 4 reasons the Russians claimed. Remember, there were 4 points. They said, I know, they attacked unprovoked. Okay, YouTube, got it. Now let's talk about the truth here. So, they said first, we're going to attack. Why? Because we want Ukraine demilitarized, we want denazified, we don't want Ukraine to become, we don't want Ukraine to recognize those breakaway, now the republics that right now are Russia. And the 4th one was what? Not a NATO member state. We will prevent Ukraine from becoming a NATO state. That's why those guys brought troops, military and all that in Ukraine to prevent this guy. So that was their way of solving the problem, because they couldn't solve it at the table of negotiation table with the West before February 24th, 2022. Remember that? So these guys are saying, you know what, we're going to do exactly that, the reason why you got in, to make you want peace. Now, it's like I tell you, man, I'm going to come and grab you by the neck and beat you up if you try to rape, I don't know, that woman over there. And you say, you know what, I'm going to make peace with Emil by raping that woman. What did I tell you? And this is even a mild analogy. You know, these guys entered into a war with another country, invaded unprovoked because of this reason. And you tell me now that if they complete that, will make the Russians negotiate? Or make them say, let's go? I mean, you tell me what the logic is here. Or you think you're going to say, well, it's done, Emil. I raped the victim, so you can't take it back. Don't do anything wrong to me. Is that the reason? So, hey, the guy already raped that one, so it's too late. Why do you bother, Emil, to beat me up? And I would say, yeah, man, it's already done, so I guess we should not punish you because we can't take that back. Is that the reasoning? What the hell? Let me read the article. Maybe these guys provide us with a, I don't know, not an ancient Greek logic. Maybe they provide us with some other, I can't say it, it's YouTube. France is to support Ukraine's bid to one day join NATO in an attempt to pressure Russia into negotiating an end to its war. Now, according to French reports, amid concern, Kiev will struggle to liberate all its territories. So they want to get into NATO. They can't get Ukraine into NATO being at war with another country. That's against your policy that you will obviously break because you can. France and Germany blocked any prospect of Ukraine's rapid accession to NATO in 2008 against the advice of the United States, which was ready to fight then, at the time advocating its integration. So the United States said then, let's do it now, as the Russians are still weak, so we can do it. The Russians probably will not do what they do right now. Well, that's the way it works, my friends. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, stuck to his stance both before and after the start of the Russian invasion in February 2022. He's a weasel, we know that one. And I'm quoting, Ukraine's entry into NATO would be perceived by Russia as something confrontational. No shit. You can't imagine it with this kind of Russia, he told Le Monde in December 22. He was right. He was right, but these guys probably wanted exactly that. Confrontation. So he was just, the stupid in the room, which was right. However, during a Defense Council meeting at the Élysée Palace on June 12, Mr. Macron and his government reconsidered the possibility of Kiev joining the alliance, according to the French newspaper, defending that position as a means, this is the logical justification, means of influencing the conflict and bringing Moscow and Kiev to the negotiating table is the approach now favored by France in the delicate discussions between Ukraine's allies, no such a thing, in the run-up to the annual NATO summit. So, what he said here, he was right. It was perceived as confrontational, and they invaded because of that. Because the guy says, no, we have the open door policy, you have nothing to say in Ukraine's accession into NATO. And Russians said, yeah, but how about my concerns? How about my safety concerns? My national security? Well, you should not have any. You should just bend over, take your pants, and get it deep, hard, however we want, whenever we want, and so on. And Russia said, what are you talking about? You don't talk here with, United States, right? You talk here with Russia, told NATO. Yeah, United States is the owner of NATO. So, it's just, this was the reasoning. Now you tell me if that makes sense. The reason why this guy is beating the other guy is because the other guy wants to, or the guys behind him want them to get him in their little organization, on their plantation. And this guy say, well, let's take him quickly because Russia will negotiate it then. Why? Because it's already done or something? Well, you tell me, my friends, because for me this sounds idiotic. Idiotic and confrontational. And the Russians will say, yeah, okay. How do you think the Russians will portray that to their people? The Russian population. We were wrong? No. They will say, see, we were right. That's exactly what they wanted all along. That's why we had to go and do this. Otherwise, NATO will be at our doorstep. So we had to prevent it, and now they show their faces. Right there, they drop the masks. It's very easy. And it's not far from being accurate. You can say, well, that's a consequence of that. Let me tell you this. This war should have been avoided in 2013. 2013, the democratic countries should not have promoted, helped, whatever, some traitors who overthrew, that's why they're traitors, a legitimate, democratically elected government. That's reason. With the outside help, you're 100%. Check the definition. Because if you put the same thing, let's say in other countries, let's say United States of America, you have some idiots here trying to, let's say, overthrow a government, and they succeed with the help of, let's say, KGB, or I don't know, MI6, or who knows what. These guys will be considered terrorists, and they will be traitors as well. Why? With the outside help, you overthrow a legitimate government, democratically elected. What are you? You didn't work within the system, so, But hey, and then those guys who overthrew Viktor Yanukovych regime, or not regime, government, because it was democratically elected government, United Nations, everybody recognized that government. Those thugs, those guys who got the power, were recognized by whom? By the democratic countries that push democracy and freedom everywhere. How? I'm for democracy and freedom when it works my way. When it doesn't work my way, then now let's organize the little thing. Those guys overthrow a democratic government or elected democratically, something that we are the champions of. We'll do like this, we give them this, they do it, and then say, yeah, we're going to talk to you. Some senators show up over there with their new thugs. Not thugs. Those are, as I said, traitors. Thugs, it's easier than traitor, because a thug should not be, sentenced to certain kind of things. A traitor in many countries is punished with, including the United States of America. Remember the Rosenbergs? Remember the Rosenbergs? The two guys that were charged with, getting nuclear secrets to Soviet Union, and then they were, I think, the family, he and she. Yeah, there were some Zelenskys. Look at their bio and you're going to find out. But it doesn't really matter. They could have been Romanians. It's still, you're a traitor, because what you do with... and what was the result? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yeah, do that, Macron. And then the Russians will just say, okay, now we negotiate. Psst. That's so stupid. But, as I said, we might not have the information, the exact thing, but we cannot be, how should I put it, cannot lower ourselves to idiots, because we're not. At least you and I. That goes without saying, by default. We're great, aren't we? Yes. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.